poetry readings in the past, and I also do them at home. I am a poet and an editor, among some other things, and I think that will suffice for the moment. And I hadn't quite worked out the reading order, but I think I'm going to just wing this. First of all, English poetry in Pakistan is kind of a neglected genre, but it's a really good, the genre is not good, but the people writing poetry are writing very, very good poetry. So today we have quite a large cross-section of senior, established, and young poets. As I said, poetry in English is a bit of a neglected genre, so people often don't get published. They don't get published locally, and I think abroad there's a huge competition because it's international. But, so we have here Salman Tarek Kureshi. You are our most senior poet. And like I said, mid-level poets, I will take their names. And we have two young girls here from a program called the Urban Youth Laureate Program, which was, I think, initiated by USAID and under a poet, an American poet called Michael Cirelli. And Ayesha Owais and Ayesha Faisal are both finalists on that program. So you can see quite a wide range of us. Can I start with you, Salman? Perfect. Thank you.
Can everybody hear me? That was not intended for drama, just leftover of an injury I had last year. I've selected two poems to read for this. Oh, sorry, I should introduce myself first. Okay. Salman Qureshi. I've been writing poetry for longer than most people's lives. And been a business executive, poet, I'm also a newspaper columnist, and is that clearer?
Yes.
Also a newspaper columnist, a poet, and I also write short stories, but not as well known in that. Where I'm concerned, my poetry is a major part of my consciousness. Written a large number, and have been published in a number of anthologies, both here and in New York and in the UK. And plus I have two solo volumes on my own. One is called Landscapes of the Mind, and the other is called Coming of Age, which was published last year and launched at this festival last year. The two poems I've suggested, that I've selected, one is both are, I guess, some years old. This one I'll start with, relates to an incident that took place a long time ago, comparatively. That was 1979. Those who remember the newspapers of the time may recall the incident. It's called White Room. And you'll recognize the tape recorder, which nobody uses anymore. Sorry. Rewind, start. White room, almost no color. Not anymore, never anymore, any color. Stop. Rewind, start. White room, bare white walls, deep cold. But almost no grief, not anymore. White walls, white floor, even shadows are white, almost no shadows. Stop. Start. Walls bare, almost but not quite. Faint walls and smudges, very faint, almost not there. Stop. Start. In pre-dawn April chill, hanged man's tongue lolls, eyes leave sockets, almost. Cold feet point groundward. Stop. Start. Almost some color there, some grief, perhaps even pain. White room, white roof, no change. Stop. Not any more, never any more any change. Stop. Start. Every change for the worse so far, almost every change, every time. No more struggle now, not any more. Cold white sheet, no warmth, no warmth. Stop. Rewind. Start. In strangulation, the neck cracks, genitals tumesce and ejaculate the sticky store. White clothes soiled. Stop. Almost some anger there, some grief. Sorry. Almost some anger there, some grief, some brief red flare, but now no color. Rewind, start. White room, almost no movement. Aeons long, unwinding history is cold. Almost some shadow there. Gone now. Stop. Rewind. Start. Hanged man dangling in pre-dawn chill. White feet pointing to earth. Almost nothing is changed. Almost ever anymore. Stop. Stop. The second poem is shorter, more prosaic. It's called a short story of a July evening. The subtitle is Sadar Karachi. We were not there, but this is how it happened. On Mansfield Street, around the corner from Empress Market bus stop, a white car stopped by the no parking sign, the driver begging tolerance from the constable. In the nearby lane, demarking Mochi Gali from Bori Bazaar, another found more legal parking space. The owner locked the doors and walked away among the summer evening shoppers. The rest we know. The white car disassembled by what was placed within. The hammer blow that lifted wares from dealers' shelves. The moment still vibrating, still along that mangled street. 10 further minutes picked the pathway through the magma of people, glass and blood spilling across the pavement. As Summer rose and stared around, the second car then spoke a single syllable. The feel? Ground slippery underfoot. The smell? Of butcher shops. of something left burning in the kitchen, the taste of vomit rising to the tongue, the pieces of what had once been people all over the ground. Someone's high purpose was doubtless furthered by reducing human beings to limbs, humors, bones, and entrails, by these dark piles of meat. How soon they start to stink in the air of this humid summer evening. Thank you.
That is like a grim reminder after yesterday's blast. I'm going to call Haris Khalique next because he is on a timeline.
Sorry, I have to. Yeah, I will. Assalamu alaikum, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Haris Khalique, and I write poetry and non-fiction, poetry and essays. Mostly I write prose in English, but I write poetry in Urdu, English, and Punjabi. And a bit of a couple of things in Persian also. Anyway, but essentially I'm an Urdu and English language poet, and so let me just start. So I'm going to read a few short poems for you. One is, it's titled The Colonizers. Salman bhai, they arrived, made us civilized, gave heels to our flat soles, buttons to tie our shirts, pockets sewn in our coats. What they took away is our feet to stand our native ground. Our chests we could thump and cheer, the dimes lying around. It's a poem titled Over the Years. Over the years, my dad got a habit, writing on his shirt sleeve, tunde ke kebab, pink saltish Kashmiri tea, olives, cheese. Each time the shirt was laundered, all got washed. My dad would begin again, scribble on the sleeve. My daughter likes kebabs, pink Kashmiri tea, olives, cheese. Inherits the other habit, writes on her shirt sleeve. Her shirt is laundered, nothing gets washed. Settled, indelible ink. Uprooted granddad never got.
These are new poems, Haris.
These are new poems, yeah. This poem is titled Balochistan. We learn to hibernate in harsh winters of oppression, germinate in silence, to spring love, freedom, keep our buds tight, to save the pollen, flower, with zephyr arriving, seed the earth then with love and freedom. And there's a poem titled Mothers. There was an incident in Gaza where the remains of a Palestinian woman and an Israeli woman were mixed up. And both were killed, of course. Mothers. As we speak, there's a meeting happening in heavens. Shiri Bibas from Israel and the unidentified Palestinian woman. Their earthly remains got mixed up in the rubble of Gaza. Both wronged, both killed, mixed up. They are from the heavens, they are looking down upon us. Ah, young mothers, shared worry, children left behind on their own. After a morning rain in Jaffa and Gaza, their tear-eyed children find solace in the colors of the sky. They are the same: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Haris. As you see, I am dispensing with long intros and comments only because we're a large group and I'd rather let the poetry shine. So next, I would like to have you, Khusro. So Khusro Mumtaz, and he will introduce himself and then read.
Okay. My name is Khusro Mumtaz, and I'll be reading from a set of poems written for my late wife, who passed away from a brain tumor a few years ago. What started as a sextet of haikus, a poetic form I am particularly fond of, and haiku cycles, quickly became a septet, and then eventually an octet. They cover a period from just before her passing to the days and months and years following. An octet for Samina. 1. The hospital room. To survive, must I numb my soul, be walking dead, or become a beast? A demon smiling, humor masking dead eyes while your light flickers, fights. What kind of creature am I? I should cut myself with your every gasp, slit my untouched wrist, die agonizing deaths, yet here I still remain. Frankenstein's monster, stitched together with grief, rage, and dying for love. 2. Broken. Your love healed me when I broke. Now, without you, how do I fix myself? 3. Coffins. Beneath the earth's weight, I put you under in grief, wrapped in pain and love. But every room holds suitcases, cartons. All tombs, bury you again? In every corner, graves wrapped in cardboard and cloth. Yet you are not here. How do I bury what still whispers in my chest? Your absence, so loud. 4. Ghosts. Back in the city, who do I call to say, home? The silence replies. In the movie hall, reach to guide you in darkness. Hands jerk back, empty. TV hums to life by itself. Your favorite show glows. A ghost in the room. Your friend calls, confused. A missed ring from our landline. I never dialed. Echoes in the line. A call I did not make. yet it rings with your name. Clothes shift on their own. From drawer to drawer they travel, unseen hands at work. You're gone, yet remain, filling every corner and charging every breath. 5. Echoes. A song stirs your name, yet no tune can touch the light. You are all of it. Poems call your heart, yet words cannot hold your glow. You are more than this. No song, no poem is anything but a flicker. The absence is you. 6. Past lives. Saw a tender film, gentle, moving, lovely, wise, but you are not there. Not for you to know, and no one else would understand. Not for them to see. Our lives together past, just what ifs in the present, an empty future. 7. The day before Eid. On the takht I napped, dreamt vividly of you, hair resplendent once more. And you were chirping, happy and bustling, fussing for the family feast. Ever so lovely in burgundy gharara, a vision, stunning. Are you at peace now? Tranquil, resting in the light? God, I pray that's so. A little note before the final poem. A part of survivor's guilt, at least for me, is the fear of the lessening of the pain and the fear of forgetting, fears which feel like betrayal. This 8th poem, written sometime after the first 7, is my realization that these poems have helped me to deal with these fears. Now that I've captured the pain and the loss on paper, I can, hopefully, never forget. Number 8, memorial. I enfold the pain, not willing to let you go, dreading forgetting. These poems a shrine, this grief carved deep in my bones, this love forever bound. Thank you.
Thank you, Khusro. Okay, so now I'm going to call Moeen Faruqi.
Thank you, Ilona. I like to think of myself more as an artist, and maybe that shows in my poetry because I like to make visual poetry. Is that how you would say it? I don't know. But so I'm most interested in creating visuals rather than maybe. Anyway, so here's one about just a simple poem about the beach and a rainy day. All day rain from the heavens, the sea white and frothy. The moist wind brought distant breaths. And then through the clouds the light broke, vast and bright and gentle, still cooled by rain suspended in air. The waves brought music in roars, this one louder than the other, and grew as the white heads of waves became larger. With each swell, the sea was born again. The sand shone wet and yellow, a glistening slice of earth fading into sea. Children ran in the water, their souls white as the fresh-born sun. Seashells rolled onto the white beach, their mouths open for raindrops. That's one. And this one, thank you. This one is about painting, and it's called Abstraction of Paint. And it's about a largish painting that I made. I call it 5 by 5 in honor of the feet that made this canvas, in honor of the pigments and the powders in our souls, the broken symmetries, the distorted logic, the formlessness of forms. These will move me, these will speak, once deformed to newness. The narrative will become circular, a rectangle twisted to a dream, without people, without stories. Through this I will speak to you secretly, through the muteness of colors and the smiling glyphs and lines. Honor the movement of brush, thoughtless, empty of purpose. Only in doing find answers. And the last one is again, I guess, visual. It's called Rubbish Dump Incarnated. Each bird swoops expecting blue plastic to become treasure, the unmistakable aroma of mango skins full in their saffron emptiness. A milk carton among millions of consumed souls, yellow and red wrappers from the city's lived lives, a diary of eating and excreting. Bread bags with molded crumbs, blue-green as the sea that will ingest them, blue and green as young feet that scavenge paper, iron, aluminum. Anything with the shine of the sun will be sold, will reveal itself in incarnation of cheap food, used jeans, a bar of soap with no water. There are yellows and reds here new to the universe. There is a scent, rotting bananas, lettuce, entrails of sacrificed sheep. The heavens will be pleased to receive these transmigrating souls of chickens, goats, and boxed juices. Cows and crows flying, swooping, grazing, happy they partook of our lives. Thank you.
So, since most of these poets, except for Haris, are Karachi-based, I thought I'd say that many of those who have just read, Salman, Moeen, Khusro, I don't know, Khusro, if you were part of Mixed Voices or not, but Salman and Moeen were. And Mixed Voices was a group founded by Adrian Hussein, is that correct? And in the 70s. Yeah? And Shireen, you were also part of that? Okay, so we have next Shireen Haroun. And Shireen is a wonderful poet in her own right. Also the daughter of a poet, our first female poet, Maki Kureshi. Please come, Shireen.
Good afternoon. I'm Shireen Haroun. I come from a family of distinguished writers. I wouldn't call myself distinguished, but I think it's a family obsession to write. I've been a participant in KLF for many years now. I have not yet published an anthology, but I published I have not yet published a collection, but I have been published in many anthologies, both here and abroad. I'm going to start reading my poems without further ado. Thank you. This is
I know, but you're going to have to use it.
the first poem I'm going to read is called Simple. I teach literature, or I used to, and this is about a student I had. Uncomprehending the stare, directed not at Macbeth, but the wall. I struggle, fail, give up, then try again, drawing attention back. Darkness, murder, witches whirl, nothing, not a twitch. This gaze will never have a why. The lesson grows interminable. As outside twilight falls, the last birds sing. I see the wall so clearly now, he and I in one room. This is called Fugitive. It's again Karachi-based. I wonder who lives in that chocolate box with the wisteria wall, floating in wonderland above the city's pall. The wisteria wall is high and green. There's nothing Gothic to be seen except Red King and Queen. While they wear muslin frocks within, innocent as Alice of the grins, tiresome, vanishing. And when they do sit down to eat, they drape the teapot white and neat, in case the dormouse finds his feet. Enough said of those wisteria lives, we've guessed them high and sweet. Outside, a dismembered man crawls across the street.
Shireen, that's a very different rhythm from your usual poems, right?
Yes, it starts with a nursery rhyme rhythm, and then the punchline at the end brings us, if you like, back to reality. It sort of reflects, you drive through Defense and you see these gorgeous houses, and then you see these miserable, pathetic beggars on the streets. And, that's basically what the anger I sort of felt at the class, this kind of prompted the poem. But yeah, so hence it's based on Wonderland, because, half the population of this country lives in Wonderland and the other half crawls on the street. This is a poem which is part of a quartet. I do not think I will have time to read the whole quartet, although they are short poems, so I will just read one from there. I hope it makes sense, because I'm not reading you the previous poems. It's called Climber. March's hard-edged shovel lays the root tip, bedded and dampened, but not in this sand soil. It grew out of richer clods. Hesitant, then sturdy and vigorous, sprang into leaf. Now this cascade of blossoms has sealed the wall, spread itself out. A breeze ruffles the scarlet heads, murmuring of things they knew. Carmine petals, the sun is not your friend, merely a transition. Crimson to purple, diffusing to white. The secateurs, a second, sharper knife. Fall, then floating drift, clear, water almost. If there's time, I'll read you the last poem in the series. Yeah. This goes into the water. It's called Reflections. In the cool of evening, the walk across damp grass to the unswept surface of ponds, where at dawn a bird slaked its thirst. Beneath the flash of brilliant wings, the blossom floats, blanched out, unrecognized. The pool is a collector, dry leaves, fretted silhouettes of trees, twigs. It takes them all, merely repeating its own labials. But as the light dims and blurs, their shapes dissipate till only the water itself is visible, silver, disclosing exactly what it sees. And in the gathering twilight, all it perceives is just sky.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Shireen fractured her leg, so this is quite a difficult proposition. Okay, so now we have Sadaf Halai.
Thank you, Ilona. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm Sadaf. I write poetry in English, and I'm going to read 2 poems today, and they are new poems. So the first one is called Akhira. The bullet train was 180 miles an hour, Milky Way of dates and honey, a marvel of magnetic levitation, silver stream in a burning desert. How is it so silent? My mother asked. We contemplated the world outside, the drab and friendless houses without curtains or occupants. There were no gardens in which to grow parsley or tomatoes. Our time is finite, I told myself. My face, reflected in the window, faded into the world until I learned to live without it. At the station, I separated from the others, looked back to see the platform. The girl beside my mother was cardboard, a cutout with the sheen of life. It is hard to say if she saw me. I like to think of both Akhira and Dunya, both the world and the hereafter, when I disembark a train. This second poem is called Pro Patria. Pro Patria. It is Independence Day. Children hawk flags at traffic lights from car to car, mirthless and ignominious, faces flat as coins. Flags flutter in their green hands. From a curbside loudspeaker, the chorus of an 80s pop song pounds the simple syllable of dil. Heart is so small a word. I inch past Pastry Palace, its cookies iced with baby moons. A Suzuki ambulance is arrested because traffic will not part for its awful cargo. This place demands fidelity that only comes with trial. after days of kneeling in the poor light of a shrine. When an illness once thought chronic miraculously disappears, the remission looks like light pulled back into the sun, and the doctor waves his hand with the certitude of a saint. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadaf. So now we have 3 young poets. I am starting with Urooj Fatma Mirza.
Thank you for having me, Ilona. Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, this is good? Yeah, everyone can hear me? Yeah. Thank you for having me. This is an immense privilege and something I really don't take for granted. I grew up coming to OUP with my father, and now to be here on stage and to have him and many of my loved ones in the crowd is really, it's a really special moment for me. So thank you for the opportunity. So there's not much I'm going to say about myself by way of intro. I feel like I've only just arrived here, and my journey is just beginning. But what I will say is that I'm here today because someone believed in me. Many of people believe in me. But I think in the world that we inhabit, that kind of belief is really everything. So the poem I'm going to read today is not my best poem, I would say, but it is my bravest. And it's about how to keep on loving in the face of inevitable loss. And it's a 2-part prose poem. It's titled Inheritance. 1. I think I'm trying to escape, but it's not working. At every stoplight, every corner I turn, I run into myself. The past is the past, and the present is the past. I am the past, and you are the past. The steadily snaking shock of white hair near my mother's left temple, past. Her own mother, past before she even began to gray, or shall I say color. All we have left are sepia-tinged photographs curling at the edges. A childhood punctuated by a harmonium heartbeat rising and falling with each haunting breath Iqbal Bano takes. The notes melting into the air. The ghazal, a live thing I can hold in the palm of my hand. Is this memory mine or my mother's? 2. My Abba cuddles Luna as he asks me how long cats have left to live. Death becomes the nosy neighbor that moves in next door. My Abba thinks of the years that separate him from the same fate as his uncle. We sit side by side on plastic chairs and watch his uncle's useless legs. Bones locked in, restless with yearning. He will die like this. We know it. He will never be able to walk barefoot in the grass again, sit on the toilet without needing support, his ankles no longer able to carry the weight of his dwindling body. My Abba takes his uncle's hand in his, unfurled fist, paper-thin palm so translucent I see bone. Halfway to decay, sandpaper skins crumble into one. We are anticipating it is Abba's heart that will betray him, as it does for most of the men in my father's family. Ticking time bomb, he is an anomaly just for living past 60. I like tracing the mottled purple scars that traverse the landscape of his body. I was 9 when they reset the clocks, took him apart and stitched him back up again. Good as new, a winter that never lets us forget. Zooming down Shari Faisal, mist on the windscreen, the city flying past. Abba is listening to the Tracy Chapman song I know reminds him of his dead brother. We are all running on borrowed time. Because of this, I have never doubted that God exists. I walk through life knowing what it feels like to have been given a second chance. My father becomes the oldest living male in his bloodline bearing his name. The harmonium heartbeat heaves on. I sing along. Thank you.
Thank you, Urooj. My work as an editor has really brought me, it's shown me that there are so many good poets who are producing experimental work. So now we go on to our two youngest poets. Ayesha Owais, please, can you come up? So as I mentioned, Ayesha Owais and Ayesha Faisal were finalists for the Urban Youth Laureate Program.
Hello, thank you, Ilona. Okay. I'm Ayesha, and I'll be reading a poem today that I wrote after a conversation with my mom on how she doesn't quite get poetry, and I couldn't help but write about it, because in our daily conversations, in the language that she uses, I see her as quite poetic.
Can everybody hear or not? No.
It's called My Mother Tries a Hand at Poetry. It is a short, rugged climb without form, structure, meter, or rhyme. Beautiful, barren, or so I think. Instead of commas, she uses colons. A sunny day, a boy, young as noon, crying, a mother, helpless, seeks a river, a lord. Instead of looking inwards, she looks towards the ceiling, my face, her hands a sundial. She reads out her verse like a monologue, a daughter falling, glasses, black-rimmed, nose, familiar, known. There's a world outside of us where little blue-beaked birds beam, and bodies made of light often burn. In moments of disquiet, such revelations of beauty weigh on me. The sun, the dining, the crease of her palms. I, who have never known poetry, learn the patterns of love. Shadow, strawberries, spring, sea. I am still a child learning to believe. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayesha. Okay, now Ayesha Faisal. I am so glad to see such a big audience.
Assalamu alaikum. Can everyone hear me? Okay. I am Ayesha Faisal, and as mentioned, I'm very grateful to be here today because of the opportunity that was given to me by Urban Word. Today I'll be speaking to you, and I'll be reading some poems that speak to both the individual and the collective fragility that we experience. The first poem is titled Irane Saghir. It's for my dada and my dadi who are here today. कल जिसे अहले नज़र कहते थे ऐराने सग़ीर, अल्लामा इक़बाल. One day, when the war is over and the soldiers have all left, ashamed and repenting, I shall find you in a field in Kashmir. Kashmir, where everything has something to say, where every whisper of wind and bird song is a rosary bead circling, where every flutter of piran and sunbeam is a prayer, where, if I walked along a path long enough, I would find myself standing in a field of joy, green upon green upon green. The ski in my hand is not rust, the metal is too precious. On my finger, an opal gemstone hums. 1 decade ago, you gave it to me. I have kept it safe all these years later. This field is only a second's whisper away from my mind's eye. Alongside it, 2 houses were birthed. Flooded with sunlight, the courtyards sing aloud an echo of love, its image carved in our hearts. Here, where everything has something to say,
all languages have dispersed to become one, to settle into a silver tongue that sings aloud across all pasture, even the rain. Here, the children are not dead or asleep, but alive, open-eyed and open-mouthed with joy. Here, where the sweet fragrance of gul catches on to my wrist to free me. Here, we can rush into the river, hear the shush of the stream. We do not have to depend on chlorine to remember the numbness of water. My veins can only travel one way, and that is the way of your name. And this is a fact, not only here, but always across all time and dimensions. In my swimming pool heart, all the waves say your name. When they crash against each other, the Jhelum meanders your letters inside me. When you were younger, you found yourself here. After you had been rescued from the war, but before we were free, like a finger poking its way through fat only to leave no marks, the land has pushed its lines away from the cartographer's will. My eyes hold on to yours to taste what it means to be free. It hits my tongue sweetly, like some long-forgotten memory, when I stitched onto my skin using your needle and your thread. Here, where everything is life. There is no lifeguard, no life jacket, and no life buoy. There is only salt trickling down from your pepper eyes, and the sun, and the sun, and the sun. My second poem is titled Fractured, and it is from my Nana. The mystery of July. Ghalib drifts in his sleep, a feverish dream. The Dawn Young magazines have disappeared. You used to store them carefully at the top of your cupboard, your Saturday morning ritual. Boom, boom, paper patache and the guns get louder. I look for pakola at shadis. The bubbles burn and settle, a muted grief prickles and sighs. Pomegranate red, opened like a flower, blossoming, fireworks, pop, pop. I wonder, is this pain so familiar to everyone around me? Do they all carry it around in their chests, a locked-up child in the womb? Kiss the ground as I lay down, kinus wilt in heat. Festering moths swim in the dark. I know you love Weetabix, so now I'm eating portions for two alone. When did I last tell you I love you so? We watch as the grass welts and dances, a tango with the air's quick hands. I feel them push my hands in your hair. I peel fruits for myself the way you taught me to, yet quinoa flesh no longer bursts in my mouth. My blood is a thread that marks me as yours. When I fish for stars, I think, if I could catch your eyes, I would hang them up in my bedroom. I want you strong, I want you supple, I want you back. Thank you. There's another poem I'd like to share if we have the time. It's called The Lover to Palestine, or Palestine to the Lover, and it's after Christopher Marlowe. This was written after the Rafah massacre happened, and it's for the martyrs of Rafah who give me rhythm. Come live with me and be my love, and olives shall glisten beneath the wet palms of the sea, and all the streets will sing your name aloud. We will soak our feet into each other, you and I, you and I. Beloved, in your shivering hand, I will see the heart of prophets and of people. O Palestine, embroidered trees will breathe still, a verse of your olives. Your oil shall kiss my hair alight. Read aloud this chapter from the holiest book. Go fishing for strawberry farms, dance to the sweet tune of the free. Sweat aligns the windowsills. It crafts a river, mirror for me. Thank you.
Do you have one more poem? No. Okay, so I don't know if Amar Aziz is in the audience or not. If he is, he's a guest of ours from Lahore, and he wanted to read one poem. Amar? Okay. So I guess that closes today's session. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all, the poets. I think there are multiple voices. You will have experienced different rhythms, different ways of approaching poetry. For me, that just shows how alive it is. Thank you.